Good evening, everyone. Just wait for everyone to settle in. Thank you all for coming. We're so happy to have this concert for you all tonight. And happy spring. It's the first day of spring. And we're so glad that Beverly agreed to come and join us and with her talent on Tuesday night. This is a special concert for me as well. My father had aortic dementia, and we had a wonderful last part of his life. But for her to come and celebrate this so beautifully with you all is a great gift for everyone. So I just wanted to say, my name is Leslie Countryman. We have a lot of wonderful events coming up all through April. There are flyers in the back, and we'd love to see you again. So I just want to say, please enjoy tonight. Happy spring, and Beverly, O'Regan, Thiele, and Jefferson Hamer. Come on down. They're having such a good time in the green room. Wait, there's a green room, and it's an Irish concert. I love it. Beverly, O'Regan, Thiele.
Hello, everybody. Thought Bill was going to sing, did you? That was my husband, those who didn't know. While we're tuning up a bit, I was going to wait and talk after the first song, but the first song is Caledonia. Caledonia is Latin for Scotland, and it was written by Dougie Hauser, as is written in the program. And he was busking with some Irish friends in France, and they were all homesick. And he wrote this song in like 10 minutes on a French beach. And he sang it. He went back to the hostel, where they were all staying. No wonder they were homesick. He went back to the hostel, and the next day everybody went home to their own homes. So this is my husband's favorite, so I had to start with it. And and I like to think of this as for anybody who's homesick for somewhere. I've spent most of my adult life being homesick for Iowa, Iowa of my childhood. So I dedicate this to anybody who's homesick for anywhere.
The strangeness that has come over me these last few days, I've been afraid I might drift away. I've been telling old stories, singing songs that made me think about where I came from. That's the reason why I seem so far away today. Let me tell you that I love you, that I think about you all the time. Caledonia, you're calling me, and now I'm going home. And if I should become a stranger, you know it would make me more than sad, for Caledonia's been everything I've ever had. Now I've been moved and I've kept on moving, approved the points that needed proving. I lost the friends that needed losing, I found others on the way. I've kissed the fellas, I've left them sighing, shattered dreams, yes, there's no denying. I've traveled hard, sometimes with conscience flying, somewhere in know it. Let me tell you that I love you, that I think about you all the time. Caledonia, you're calling me, and now I'm going home. And if I should become a stranger, you know it would make me more than sad, for Caledonia's been everything I've ever had. Now I'm sitting here before the fire, quiet room, the forest choir. The flames have died, won't get any higher. They've withered now, they've gone. But I'm still here thinking my way is clear, and I know what I will do tomorrow. Once the hands have shaken and the kisses flown, I will disappear. Let me tell you I love you, that I think about you all the time. Caledonia, you calling me, now I'm going home. And if I should become a stranger, you know it would make me more than sad, for Caledonia's been everything I've ever had. Ooh. Thank you. Now you see that's why that's my husband's favorite. Carrickfergus I find is very interesting, such a beautiful song, but I never knew until I'm looking up all these details that Dominic Behan, who is Brendan Behan's brother, said he first heard this song by Peter O'Toole, but nobody seems to know where Peter O'Toole found it. And then Dominic wrote the second verse to this. It's so interesting. I hope that you'll look up some of these songs when you go home. They're so fascinating, as in every culture. But songs like this are so fascinating. And some people say, well, it's supposed to be Scotland, and oh no, it's supposed to be, you know, they don't really mean Kilkenny, they mean Kilmeny in Scotland. But it's so, what do you say? But everybody wants to claim a beautiful song. So, Carrickfergus. I wish I was in Carrickfergus, only for nights in Ballygrand. I would swim over the deepest ocean, to be by your side. But the sea is wide, and I cannot swim over, nor have I the wings to fly. I wish I had me a handsome boatman to ferry me over to my love and die. My childhood friends bring back sweet reflections of happy times so long ago. my own relations have all passed on now, like the melting snow. So I'll spend my days in endless rover. Soft is the grass, and my bed is free. To be back now in Carrickfergus, along that long road down by the sea. And in Kilkenny it is reported on marble stones as black as ink, with gold and silver I did support her. But I'll say no more now till I get a drink. Sure, I'm drunk today, and I'm seldom sober. A handsome rover from town to town. But I am sick now, and my days are numbered. So come all ye young men and lay me down. So come all ye young men and lay me down.
So this is a different Galway Bay than Bing Crosby. Dolores Keane made this famous. It's about a 100-year-old song, but it's like in the 80s, 90s. Dolores Keane made this famous. I'm a big fan of hers.
It's far away I am today from scenes I roamed aboard. And long ago the hour I know I first saw Illinois. But time nor tide nor waters wide can wean my heart away. Forever true it flies to you, my own dear Galway Bay. Oh, grey and bleak thy shores and creeks, the rugged rocks abound. But sweet and green the grass between, as grows on Irish ground. All friendships fond, all wealth abound, and a love that lives always. Bless every home beside your foam, my own dear Galway Bay. hopeful mood and a heart of fire once more. For all the gold the world might hold, I'd never leave your shore. I'd be content with whatever God sent, with neighbors old and gray, and I'd lay my bones 'neath churchyard stones beside you, Galway Bay. Oh, the blessings of a poor old man who's with you night and day, and the blessings of a lonely man whose heart will soon be clay. It's all of heaven I'll ask of God upon my dying day, for my soul to soar forevermore above you, Galway Bay. Whose name is Kathleen, and I don't think she's going to be watching tonight, but she will be. And I'm sorry, Mom, I wore my hair curly. She's always saying, "When are you going to comb your hair?" I'm like, this is what it is. Anyway, I didn't know. How many of you think this is an Irish song? It's written by a German American, and it's actually, he was living in Indiana at the time, and it was a response to, I have to look at my notes here, a friend of his wrote a song called Barney Take Me Home, and this is his response to that. And his wife's name was Jane, and she was homesick for upstate New York. I hate to put a little damper on the song, but it's still about Ireland. So I'll take you home again, Kathleen. Take you home again, Kathleen, across the ocean wild and wide, to where your heart has ever been, since first you were my bonny bride. The roses all have left your cheek. I've watched them fade away and die. Your voice is sad whenever you speak, and tears bedim your loving eyes. So I will take you back, Kathleen, to where your heart will feel no pain, and when the fields are fresh and green, I'll take you home again, Kathleen. So I will take you back, Kathleen, to where your heart will feel no pain, and when the fields are fresh and green, I'll take you home again, Kathleen.
I guess this is a good enough time to talk about why I chose what I chose. I'm going to pick it up a little bit. So I thought this is a good reason to explain. I know there are a lot of really slow songs, so I hope nobody's sleeping yet. When Peter and Leslie asked if I would do a concert here, and they said, or Peter had said, he said, we love it when you sing the folk and the Irish, and I'm like, I'm in. Great, I would love it. And Dennis Cahill, who this is in memory of, along with in honor of my mother, he and I had talked about doing a concert. Maybe I shouldn't have done this now. He and I had talked about doing a concert together. It was a different format. It was going to be a mix. He would accompany me. He was going to do a set, and we would do some other things. So it never came to be. We did work together once in Chicago and played through some songs, but I came back out here, and we never got this. So when they said, we'll do this, and they said, and you can make it a fundraiser, it was so easy for me to realize I wanted to do this either for dementia, Alzheimer's. And then I was looking, at all of these associations to see where the money went and who was a really good association, and I found the American Brain Foundation, and they cover so many things, and I hope you read about it, why I chose them. Multiple sclerosis. I write about a classmate of mine who was diagnosed our senior year, and he died 2 years ago, complications of COVID. He spent from his 30s on in a nursing home that I used to work at. Aneurysms. My husband's cousin suddenly died of an aneurysm in her 20s here in New York City. My voice teacher at Simpson College was 37, and he died of an aneurysm, and I stayed an extra year to work with him. Of course, like I said, there's Alzheimer's and stroke. We've all been affected by that. So anyway, then I got thinking, okay, all of these songs should be about memory. You look at all these songs, most about memory are kind of sad. So, and at least maybe that was where my head was too. I'm sure there are more that are fun, but my head was in that place. But Mr. Bojangles, I used to sing as a kid when I did play guitar, and I've sung it forever. I think we even did it in the country band. And it is by Jerry Jeff Walker, and most of you probably know it from the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band, but it's a true story. And I think it was in '65, is that the year? He was actually drunk in New Orleans and got put in jail with a bunch of other people. And there was a shooting or something, I forget. But anyway, he met this gentleman with some other people, and he went by Bojangles. And because he didn't want to give his real name. But he spent a lot of time in the jail. And anyway, he was telling everybody the story about what he did and that he danced, and people said, oh, please dance. And he talked about his dog being hit by a car. And so anyway, Jerry and Jeff went home and soon wrote this song. So I thought I'll pick it up a little bit, but I absolutely adore this song, so I hope you do as well. Mr. Bojangles.
I knew a man, Bojangles, and he danced for you. Worn-out shoes, and silver hair, and ragged shirt, and baggy pants. The old soft shoe. He jumped so high, he jumped so high, then he lightly touched down. Mr. Bojangles, Mr. Bojangles, Mr. Bojangles, dance. Met him in a cell in New Orleans, I was down and out. Oh, he looked at me to be the eyes of age, as he spoke right out. Well, he talked of life, he talked of life. He laughed, slapped his leg a step, said his name, Ball Jangles, and he danced a lick. He danced across the cell. Oh, he grabbed his pants a better stance. Oh, he jumped so high. And then he clicked his heels. Well, he let go a laugh. He let go a laugh. Shook back his clothes all around. Mr. Ball Jangles, Mr. Ball Jangles, Mr. Ball Jangles, won't you dance? Dance for those at minstrel shows and county fairs. Throughout the South, he spoke with tears of 15 years, how his dog and he, how they traveled about. Well, his dog up and died, he up and died. After 20 years, he still grieved. He said, I dance now at every chance in honky-tonks for drinks and tips. Oh, but most of the time I spend behind these county bars, 'cause I drinks a bit. Well, he shook his head, and as he shook his head, I heard someone ask him, please, 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 oh, Mr. Ball Jangles, Mr. Ball Jangles, oh, Mr. Ball Jangles, won't you dance? I met a man, Ball Jangles, and he danced for you.
Could have gone either way.
I want to tell you something about this picture, actually. I don't know, Peter, if you want to put it back up. It does say I took a lot of the pictures, but a friend of mine who's in here, actually, Christy McNamara, took that last picture, and Christy's here tonight, so thank you. And this is James Keane, who was a Shannos dancer, so an old-style dancer. And I was so taken by this. James Keane made that walker out of brass pipe, correct? And it held so he could hold up his body so he could dance. So he was able to dance until the end, and as Christy said, that was his gift. And I said, that's why I love this music so much. It's amazing, people. So anyway, I had to tell you about that picture. All right. This is a little bit of difference. We call this out of the window. It's like She Moved Through the Fair, but a little different. Karen Casey sings this, and I'm telling you, I could not find anything else on it. I almost called John Williams, but I thought at the point, I'm like, I'll just let it go. He was a little busy last weekend. So Karen used to play in the group Solace, and John played with them, and he's now in Chicago, so I know John.
My young love said to me, my mother won't mind, and my father won't slight you for your lack of kind. stepped away from me, and she moved through the fair, where hand-clapping dealers loud shouts rent the air. The sunlight about her, it did sparkle and it play, and it will not be long, love, until our wedding day. When dew falls on meadows and moths fill the night, when the glow of the ashes in the hearth glow half light, I'll slip from the casement and we will run away, and it will not be long, love, until our wedding day. According to promise, at midnight I rose, when all that I found were the down-folded clothes. The sheets, they lay empty, it was plain for to see that out of the window with another went she. If I were an eagle and had wings to fly, I would fly to my love's castle, and it's there I would lie, on a bed of green ivy. I would lay my love down, and it's with my two fond wings I would my love surround.
All right, west coast of Clare.
Up the fields.
I
mean, we
miss?
can- I'll do anything you want. Just it's the
Oh,
next
we
one
did.
in order.
I'm sorry, you're right. Sorry.
Not to be a stickler.
I know. Fields of Athenry, sorry. Yeah, this is actually a very important song. I do have the date in there as well in the program. This is actually about the Great Hunger. It's not just a famine. People do realize it was a genocide. And I do mention Trevelyan. Trevelyan was one of the, he was an English civil servant. And he was also then later on in Scotland, and he treated the Scottish people a lot better than in Ireland. But we talk about Trevelyan's corn. There was wheat, and you may correct me if I'm wrong, Christy, but there was wheat and oats and grains being grown in Ireland during the famine, but they were being shipped out. And if you tried, people would try to storm places and get the food, and they would be sent off to Botany Bay in Australia. Hence, so many Irish people in Australia as well. So this mentions that, I want to give a quote by Trevelyan. He said, "The judgment of God sent the calamity to teach the Irish a lesson." So there you have it. Fields of Athenry.
Michael, they are taking you away, for you stole a Trevelyan's corn, so the young might see the morn. Now a prison ship lies waiting in the bay. Low lie the fields of Athenry, where once we watched the small free birds fly. Our love was on the wing, we had dreams and songs to sing. It's so lonely round the fields of Athenry. On a lonely prison wall, I heard a young man calling. Nothing matters, Mary, when you're free. Against the famine and the crown, I rebelled, they cut me down. Now you must raise our child with dignity. Low lie the fields of Athenry, where once we watched the small free birds fly. Our love was on the wing, we had dreams and songs to sing. It's so lonely round the fields of Athenry. She watched the last star falling as the prison ship sailed out against the sky. Sure she'll live in hope and pray for her love in Botany Bay. It's so lonely round the fields of Athenry. Low lie the fields of Athenry, where once we watched the small free birds fly. Our love was on the wing, we had dreams and songs to sing. It's so lonely round the fields of Athenry. It's so lonely round the fields of Athenry.
Now the West Coast of Clare. I love this song, actually. This is fairly new. This is very new to me. I decided to do it a few weeks ago. I started watching a documentary that they had made about Dennis. Martin Hayes, who Dennis played with, wrote a letter. And I think it's still in little sections, but Neve Parsons sang it, and I was blown over. And I actually tooled around Milltown Mall Bay with Dennis and Martin one summer. Soon after we met, I was supposed to do a biking tour, and I got in my first bike accident in Chicago. But I still went over and pushed my bike on crutches, and eventually I got biking, and about after a week or two, and I was in Clare, and I would meet up with Martin and Dennis as they were playing around, with their gigs, and there was also Willie Clancy Week, is this huge, amazing festival where they teach, so Martin and Dennis would be playing, and then in time off, I'd kind of be walking around town with them and seeing people like Dolores Keene and Patty Keene and then all these people who I was listening to at the time, and my head was blown away. So it's such a cool event. So if you like music, I recommend you go to Willie Clancy Week in County Clare. This is written by Andy Irvine quite a while ago in '73, I think. So the West Coast of Clare. And while you play, I'm going to say this next picture is also by Christy McNamara. And it's a picture of Dennis Cahill's reflection in Milltown in 2010. So it's such an amazing thing.
Sorrow and sadness, bitterness, grief, memories I have of you won't leave me in peace. My mind is running back to the west coast of Clare, thinking of you and the times we had there. I walked to Spanish Point. I knew I'd find you there. I stood on the white strand. You were everywhere. Vivid memories fade, but the mood still remains. I wish I could go back and be with you again. In Milltown there's a pub. It's there I sat down. I see you everywhere. Your face is all around. The search for times past contains such sweet pain. I'll banish lonesome thoughts, but they'll return again. I walk along the shore, the rain in my face. My mind is numb with grief. Of you there is no trace. I'll think of this again. In far off lands I roam, walking with you by this cold Atlantic fog. Sorrow and sadness, bitterness, grief, memories I have of you won't leave me in peace. times we had there.
Okay. Where have you been? My entire life, I have never been able to get through this song when I'm just singing it for myself, but when I started working on this to perform, I think I'll be okay. It is based on a true story, and I always thought, how in the world did Kathy Mattea sing this? This is written by her husband, Kathy Mattea's husband. She was a country singer, for those of you who don't know, in the 80s, 90s, just fabulous. And this is a true story. It was about her husband's grandparents. And his grandmother was in a hospital getting, I don't know if she had dementia yet, but then he had, something happened to him, I think, and then it ended up that he had brain cancer. And he was in the same hospital, but in a different room. And Kathy's husband went in there and he said, well, has anybody taken him down to her? And as it goes, nobody had thought about taking her husband down to her. So he was the one who wheeled her in, and I think he says, in real life, he started stroking her hair, and he said, look at them hairs. Nobody has hair like your grandmother. I shouldn't have said that. So, where have you been?
Clare had all but given up when she and Edwin fell in love. She touched his face and shook her head. In disbelief she sighed and said, for many years I've held you near me, and now at last you're really here. Where have you been? I've looked for you forever and a day. Where have you been? I'm just not myself when you're away. He asked her for her hand for life, and she became a salesman's wife. He was home each night by 8, then one stormy evening he was late. Her frightened tears fell to the floor, and then his key turned in the door. Where have you been? I've looked for you forever and a day. Where have you been? I'm just not myself when you're away. They'd never spent a night apart. For 60 years she heard him snore. Now they're in a hospital, on separate rooms on different floors. Clare soon lost her memory, forgot the names of family. She never spoke a word again, and then one day they wheeled him in. He held her hand and stroked her hair, and in a fragile voice she said, where have you been? I've looked for you forever and a day. Where have you been? I'm just not myself when you're away. just not myself when you're away.
And yes, those were my parents. Okay, another upbeat one. So before I do the upbeat one, then I will say, both Jefferson and I do have CDs for sale. One of them is you wrote all of your music, correct?
That's right.
You can talk about it.
No, that's fine. It's called Alameda, and it has my grandmother on the cover. So that was my, I guess, contribution to the wall of remembrance. The picture of my grandmother riding the Snow King chairlift in Jackson, Wyoming in 1953.
That's fantastic. So, and on my CD, Dennis produced and played on almost every track, and my very dear friend Bill Freyer played piano, came in from Chicago. Did you come in today or yesterday? Today. This is the best. So he played on it as well, and then some other Irish musicians from Chicago, Jimmy Keane, a bunch of other ones, and then one of the cellists from Lyric in Chicago was a friend of mine, and some other classical musicians from Chicago. So it was a little bit of everything, but Dennis played it, and I just have to say real quick, we did Lady of Knock, and he did not want to do it. He's like, oh my God, he said, Frank Patterson does it, it's always so melodramatic, let's not do it. And I was like, you have to do Lady of Knock. It's all this, it's Irish. And so we did, I said, let's just do it. We did it very prayerful. We did it in one take. And he added different things, including Jimmy Keane on the accordion, and he added a mandolin, and he would like, here, listen to this. Come here, listen to this. He was so excited about it. So anyway, they're in the back, if anybody plays CDs anymore.
Been on the 23rd of June, oh, as I said, weaving all at my loom. Been on the 23rd of June, oh, as I said, weaving all at my loom. I heard a thrush singing on yon bush, and the song she sang was a jug of punch for the doodle-day. Fa-dee-dan-da-la-doo-dee-dan-da-la-doo-dee-dan-da-la-day. What more pleasure can a boy desire than sitting down all beside the fire? What more pleasure can a boy desire than sitting down all beside the fire? And in his hand a jug of punch, and on his knee a tidy wench for the doodle-day. Fa-dee-dan-da-la-doo-dee-dan-da-la-doo-dee-dan-da-la-day. When I am dead and left in my mold, at my head and feet place a flowing bowl. When I am dead and left in my mold, at my head and feet place a flowing bowl. Then every young man who passes by, he can have a drink and remember I fall all day. Fa-dee-dan-da-la-doo-dee-dan-da-la-doo-dee-dan-da-la-day. 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 One other one. Okay. We're doing one. All right, let me talk about this a little bit. This is said to be a true story. Una McDermott fell in love with Thomas Costello, and they called him Strong Tom. Her father was a chieftain, I believe, and he did not, well, maybe not a chieftain, but he was a Taoiseach, actually. It wasn't that long ago. But he did not like Strong Thomas. And they wanted to get married, and he said no, so he put Una on an island, as they do, and she was dying from heart sickness, and Big Tom said, or Strong Tom said he went over to visit her, and he said, all right, I'll leave,
But if I don't hear from you, a messenger, before I get back to the other side, or before I start crossing the river, that's it. I'm never going to bother you again. So he started crossing, and she sent a messenger, but she was too late. But he was just being stubborn because he said, no, I told you I wouldn't go back, and he didn't go back. So she died. So he would swim that river every night and visit her grave. Well, then he caught pneumonia, and he asked that he be buried by her, and her father did give him that. So they buried the two together, and this is in County Mayo. And they say that there were trees that grew from the two of them, like I think the shape of the heart, they're entwined. So very quickly, O fair Una, O blossom of amber locks, and this is written by Strong Tom, by the way. O blossom of amber locks, after your death because of bad advice, which of the two counsels was better? Mine or yours or theirs. When I was crossing the ford of the Donog. Excuse me. O fair Una, you were like a rose in a garden, and you were a golden candlestick on the queen's table. You were the melody and a musical celebration when you walked the road before me. 'Tis my sorrowful loss of the morning that you and I were never married. O fair Una, it is you who deranged my senses. O Una, it is you who came firmly between me and God. O Una, O fragrant brow, O curly ringlet of hair, wouldn't it have been better if I had been without eyes than to never see you again? Unawan.
Is mij nacht dan ooit. Aunon, maar osinardinu, maar glor order bona banrinu, barchjol, sbachjol, ak dole valische is to vari mohil, auna is to kudlu ider me is dil, auna is to hura alubin chastana gil, nor vedose sul na dakhel arif.
At the mid-hour of night. Any of you classical singers would know this by Benjamin Britten. He set this to an amazing setting, I should say. And I love it. So At the Mid-Hour of Night is by Thomas Moore. I'm doing it our way.
night when stars are weeping, I fly to the lone vale we loved when life shone warm in thine eye. And I think that if spirits can sail from the region of air to revisit past scenes of delight, thou wilt come to me there and tell me our love is remembered even in the sky. Then I'll sing the wild song which once 'twas a rapture to hear, when our voices both mingling breathed like one on the ear. And there's echo far off through the vale, my sad only son rolls. I think, oh my love, 'tis thy voice from the kingdom of souls, faintly answering still the notes which once were so dear.
All right. The Three Marys. This is also in Irish. There are about, I don't know, maybe I'm exaggerating, at least 18 verses to this, which I'm not doing. But it's interesting. It can be done so many different ways. It can be a dialogue. In this, there's Peter, the Blessed Virgin is asking Peter, have you seen my son, my beautiful son? He says, I've seen him, I saw him with the enemies. And then from there on, it becomes a dialogue between Jesus and Mary. But it can go on, it even has like some of the soldiers in it, and part of that is not in here. It's amazing. But this is a keen. This is what I really want to talk about. In Ireland, as in many other old countries, there were, at least there are still, but there were women who would come and keen at the funeral. We've all heard about the Irish wakes, but also at the wake, though, there would be this keening. And I'm sure many of you know what that is, but it's gut-wrenching, and it gets people really, really going. And this is the keen. And in this song, it's ochon agus ochono, alas and alas. So, and with it being Holy Week, next week, I thought it was very appropriate. So yes, it's the translation. Ah, Peter, apostle, have you seen my love so bright? Alas and alas, oh. I saw him in the midst of his enemies. Alas and alas, oh. Who is that fine man on the passion tree? Alas and alas, oh. How can you not recognize your son, mother? Alas and alas, oh. Is that the son I carried 3 seasons in my womb? Alas and alas, oh. Is that the son who was born in the stable? Alas and alas, oh. Is that the son who nursed at Mary's breast? Alas and alas, oh. Is that the crown of thorns that went on your beautiful head? Alas and alas, oh. Is that the hammer that drove the nails through you? Alas and alas, oh. Is that the spear that pierced your pure heart through? Alas, and alas, oh. Oh, listen, mother, and do not be sorrowful. Alas, and alas, oh. The women who will keen me are yet to be born, O mother. Alas, and alas, oh.
agus ó chónó wase est árin agus nábi kráte
also a new song for me, but I heard it, I don't know, I forget when, a few months ago, and I was like, boom, I have to do this song. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that.
I thought that woman would live forever. I guess I grew up, but I know she never grew old. Sometimes I put on her favorite sweater when I'm all alone and this old world feels cold. She'd say, you should have known me when I was 20, when life was a long road ahead with no end. I was a fast car riding pretty, but I had a ball and I'd do it all again. Remember me beautiful, remember me young, remember me smiling, my face towards the sun. Remember me happy when you remember what was, but most of all, remember my love. I don't think I ever heard her talk about dying. She was just too busy living every day. And I want to call her up, but I can't stop crying. And if heaven had a phone, I know she'd say, remember me beautiful, remember me young, remember me smiling, my face towards the sun. Remember me happy when you remember what was. Oh, but most of all, remember my love. I told her she could go if she was ready, and I promised her that we'd all be okay. She needed me, so I was strong and steady, and I leaned in close, and I hope she heard me say, I'll remember you beautiful, I'll remember you young, I'll remember you smiling with your face towards the sun. I'll remember you happy when I remember what was. Oh, but most of all, I'll remember your love.
And yes, those are my mother's as well, so that's why I just stopped it. So I thought about doing this as a little, what do you call it? Encore. But it's getting a little late, so it's on here. So you're welcome to sing along if you'd like. This is The Parting Glass.
Of all the money spent it in good company, and all the harm that e'er I've done, alas, it was to none but me. And all I've done for want of wit, to memory now I can't recall. So fill to me the parting glass. Good night and joy be with you all. Of all the comrades that e'er I've had, they're sorry for my going away, and all the sweethearts that e'er I had, they'd wish me one more day to stay. But since it falls upon my lot that I should rise and you should not, I'll gently rise and softly call. Good night and joy be with you all. Good night and joy be with you all. Please join us for the reception.